Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. Y'all, the reading in front of me says we have ourselves a game. I have one specific card that sets this up, and it says home run, hitting it out of the park, grand slam, strength and power, getting around safely, success. A grand slam, let me just describe to you. First of all, do you know how long a baseball game is? I wanted to look this up, but I personally have spent a lot of precious minutes of my life at baseball games for various reasons. These are very long games, and baseball in general is very technical. The average length of a baseball game in 2024, MLB games specifically, was 2 hours and 36 minutes. I want you to imagine that you have been participating in a match, a game, for 2 hours and 36 minutes. The dominant energy of this reading is swords. We're talking about a mental game. We're talking about a game of your mind, whether you knew you were playing this game or not, because I got to tell you who your opponent is. You have been in a match, a long-ass match, possibly in the damn sun. You have been demonstrating your mind's ability to analyze, reason, and form ideas. That is what you have been putting on display about your own mind. Every one of my tarot cards I use every one of those cards is swords except one. We have the World card. This mental game, which may have felt like a baseball game that took place in your mind, whatever this is, you have reached a point of completion. The World card says, come get your trophy, come get your ribbon, come get your award. You have closed this out. Now, I'm going to tell you how you won the game, but let me set this up. When we're talking about a home run, on this card, it says a grand slam. Y'all, a grand slam isn't any type of play. The most points that you can earn in a baseball game off of one single hit is 4. When you hit a home run with the bases loaded, that means you and 3 other people are about to score. The match, the game that you have finished with the World card, whatever you have completed successfully, whatever this achievement is, this is a promotion, this is a graduation, but this is spiritual, right? And you had to demonstrate the power of your mental element. We're talking about air. How do you use air? And you've been doing this in the form of a spiritual baseball game that took place in your mind. Now, here's the opponent. I have a card and it talks about a jealous colleague. Let me just say this. When we talk about colleague, we think of people we work with. We think of peers. There are some people who wake up every day to go to work with you, and you don't necessarily need to know they exist. They have just made you a target. You are on their radar. They start and end their day with you. When they go to work with you, they're working alongside your enemy. Something about the way you do what you do makes somebody feel a certain kind of way about themselves. So a jealous colleague, when I say jealous colleague, I'm going to describe the tarot card that comes out, but this is somebody who has a whole campaign against you called Project Sabotage. This is also a gang mentality, right? So if one person has a poisoned mind, but everybody else doesn't have the strength to control their own mind, then one sick mind can infect other minds, and now you got a whole gang of moronic minds that are all sick with the same disease. You are not that mind. It's when somebody's jealous. How come I can't get your mind sick? What is it about your mind that I can't make poisonous, that I can't make toxic? Now, this is somebody who is willing to undermine your success. They will claim credit for shit that they didn't create, for things that they've never done. right? If you literally worked with somebody like this in the physical world, you would immediately go to human resources. Like, this is that kind of person. But this is also somebody who will report you to human resources. Anonymously. You know what I'm trying to say. Anonymously. They will report you for something you didn't do, something you didn't say, like any way to see you lose. Y'all, a baseball game is 2 hours and 36 minutes. For some of y'all, this could have been going on for 2.5 decades. This could be going on for a very long time for some. It could be 2.5 years for others, 2.5 months. Whatever it is, you had to perform and operate the element of air, the space between your ears. How do you use your mind? Let me see what that mind do. That is what this game is. And it's long. This is exhausting. All right. I have a card here. It says seer. Okay. So we're calling it a baseball. And this is really about the ability to see. When we say that somebody is a seer, when we say that they can see, this is about looking past the surface and beyond the physical world in order to reveal hidden truths. Somebody is jealous and wanting to sabotage you, and they got a group of morons, right, that follow them, that have the same sickness they do, and they want to undermine your success and claim credit because of your ability to see. Now listen, I used my Game of Thrones tarot deck in this reading, but in my mind's eye, when the King of Swords came out, I immediately thought of the King of Swords from my Hoodoo tarot deck. I saw that image. And so the way that King of Swords is described in that deck is, I want you to imagine somebody that has used chalk or cascarilla, which is like crushed eggshells. Somebody has made a white circle of chalk. Oh, they about to cast a circle. Inside that circle are a whole bunch of broken clocks. Like the clocks are no longer ticking. But when you look at the hands and the minutes on the clocks, they are turned to a specific time. Every clock is different, so it appears to be broken, but it's actually stuck at a certain time. And so this is somebody who has collected time. And every clock represents some type of infraction or offense, something, right? And so there is somebody who is jealous, who wants to undermine you. And they have calculated all the ways in which you have done something wrong to them, whether you know they exist or not. They don't like the way you can see beneath the surface. They don't like the way you can see the truth. Now, is this person known to you or unknown? I don't know. But this is a spirit that exists inside of somebody like this. This could be a family member. This could be a spouse. Typically, the King of Swords is King of Swords and Queen of Swords. In tarot decks, sometimes we say they are divorced couples. This is somebody that ain't got no love in their heart. They're bitter. They're cold, self-centered, power hungry. Okay? They will control, but it's through fear. A corruption of power, mind games. Somebody wants to play mind games with the seer, but they can't get the seer's mind sick. On top of this King of Swords chest, literally, on top of the card that says jealous colleagues, my handmade card says, don't worry, we've got you. My ancestors, which means your ancestors, your spiritual team, your entire squad in the unseen, because this is a battle of sight. But it is about seeing the unseen. And so your squad, your unseen squad, sits on the chest of this jealous colleague, this King of Swords, and says, don't worry, we've got you. This is a situation that many times you may have felt mentally like, what is this? You understand, some battles you can't see. Sometimes you can't physically pick a battle up, but you know its presence is real. You know it exists. This King of Swords right now is needing to step away from their duties, step away from their responsibilities and take a break. They need a rest. They're tired. The Grand Slam, meaning, if the ancestors say, don't worry, we've got you, I saw two things. The bases are loaded and you've got an ancestor on first, second, and third base. You have stepped up to the plate. Now, when I'm talking about you hitting a home run, I also have a knight. So when I see a king of swords and a knight of swords, a king runs a kingdom, and their knights are their line of defense. And so this is like the king of swords being on the pitcher's mound, and you're at home plate, and you are about to hit a ball that is a home run, but it's a grand slam because the bases are loaded. And so you are scoring the most possible points that you can score in a single play in a baseball game. Now, when this king of swords threw or throws this pitch, I don't know where we are in this time frame or this timeline. When this king of swords throws this pitch, I Googled. I spent a lot of time at baseball games, but I don't know what I need to know, so I'm not going to pretend. So I Googled. I wanted to know, what is the best pitch to throw when the bases are loaded? Okay? Now, for the pros out there, you can weigh in, but this is what I found. The best pitch to throw, this is what's going in the king of swords' mind, okay? So when the king of swords steps onto the mound to throw a pitch to you, okay? First, they consider, what is the best pitch to throw when the bases are loaded? Now, there are a lot of variables. The game situation, the count, the inning, the strength of the pitcher, the strength of the batter. The most important thing about the pitch that this king of swords threw to you when you responded with the world card, which means finish him. Literally, finish him. This was your hit, a grand slam? Yes. Somebody throws you a pitch. Okay, anyway, here it is. It says that this pitch is more about location. It has to be well placed. So we got a king, right, who sends out a knight. Let's say the knight is the pitch itself. In real life, the knight can be a person. It can be something. Okay, it can manifest as a person that is sent, right? This is this king's knight. The knights are their military. The knights control. The knights are local authorities, okay? The knights are loyal. They build power. They hold power. They maintain. So this is a king of swords who's trying to protect their power. And so they send out a knight because something about your mind, what does that mind do? Makes them feel some kind of, so they send a knight to you. Listen, if the ancestors are on first, second, and third base, you have been winning this thing. Okay? So this next pitch matters most. Sends a knight. Let me tell you about the way the Game of Thrones deck describes a knight. This is somebody who prioritizes drama. This is somebody who is drama first. They don't think, they don't ask, they're not loyal to anything else except smoke. This is somebody who wants all of the smoke for smoke's sake. This is the type of knight that enters for the King of Swords as the final pitch. Yes? When this knight makes their way into your life or your energy, however this manifests, this is a pitch, but this is a play. However it manifests, it is supposed to put you in a state of drought. When I say drought, in your mind, you are supposed to think, the rain will never fall again, and the earth beneath my feet will turn to dust. Like, do you understand how parched, how thirsty, how dry your life, your mind, like literally, they were going to snatch your soul by way of snatching your mind, leaving you at a drought. You wouldn't be able to think your way out of this. You'd have nothing. Okay? They felt like if they could put you in a state of drought some way, somehow, by hitting you or throwing this type of pitch, and it's about location. I also read that there are certain pitches when we're talking about location, it's about something sometimes that's low. Why? Because you want the hitter to ground out. You want the hitter to kind of be off balance. Right? It's about the way you would have to hit a certain pitch. And when I'm talking about going low, if you send a knight out and they are all about smoke and they have no problem going low, think about the spirit or the soul inside of this person. But the way you knocked this person out, like the way you hit the Knight of Swords, right? Like a king is like, go over there and make my power known. Make my corruption be known. This game has gone on too long. The bases are loaded. Let's finish them. So if I'm going to finish this situation, I'm going to send my dirtiest, my nasty, my most vile, I'm going to throw the low. It's gotta be a low blow. Sometimes people just gotta play unfair because you win in too easy, right? So they gotta play unfair until they send out a spirit and energy inside of a vessel that has no problem. My handmade card says, try to get what you love. Otherwise, you'll have to love what you got. When the bases are loaded and you hit a home run, the grand slam, it was in that moment that the pitcher, the head king in charge for the other team that's been going against you and sabotaging you, that person who doesn't like your eyes, who doesn't like your ability to see shit that you're not supposed to see, that person, they recognize that, oh my God, like I need to be at peace with this L. This game, this trophy that you are about to get, and I'm going to describe the way that you won. I didn't tell you. So yes, they're allowed to throw the pitch and you hit a home run, but what type of hit? How did you hit the home run? I must tell you. So here we go. Remember I told you, don't worry, we've got you. Literally sits on the chest of the King of Swords, the jealous colleague, that's your ancestors. I saw, I think about images in movies sometimes, and you know how like something's about to pop off. Imagine your whole family's in the front yard of your house, but trouble's coming and shit's about to go down. The protectors, the defenders of the family, whoever that is, and for whatever reason, sometimes they will tell their most delicate, their most vulnerable. They'll say, go inside, take the kids, take the dog, take whatever, and go inside. That is the energy I get from the ancestors. When they are sitting on the chest of this King of Swords who feels some kind of way about your sight, they say to you, don't worry, we've got this one. You go. But when they tell you to go, they don't say go inside. My handmade card says, go where God leads you. That is where you'll thrive. First of all, for your ancestors to be on first base, second base, and third base, and for them to send you to for them to choose you, to bring them home, says something about you. And the reason why they knew that it was safe to bring you up and to have you make whatever this final play, the reason why they trusted your swing most is because you listened. At some point, you felt, you knew, you were told to go where God leads you. That is where you'll thrive. Whatever this person has done, whatever these people, whatever this has been, let me just say this to you. In a prior reading a while ago, I remember saying that there are some groups, some leaders who organize groups, and the thing they celebrate is like darkness, right? When we think about a trophy, when we think about a completion, we think about things that bring joy, love, pleasure, fulfillment, right? We want to smile at the end of the day because something has filled our heart. The King of Swords, I was explaining in the readings that some people are celebrating their greatest attack. Some attacks look like random car accidents. Some attacks look like cardiac arrest and stroke, but they're not. They are unseen spiritual events. On somebody's whiteboard or dry erase, in a grotto is a whiteboard with a T-chart. On the left side, it says car accidents, and on the right side, it says cardiac arrest / stroke. Literally. And then they celebrate moments when people, so imagine a company. This company is divided into two teams. One team is competing to see who can cause the most car accidents in the unseen world, or with an unseen hand or unseen energy or unseen entity. And then the other side of the organization or the group or the coven, that's the cardiac and stroke department. And they want to see how many they can cause, right? The random deaths where people just drop. Stuff like that, y'all. This is the type of opponent that you are up against. They got a problem with you because you can see the shit that they do, and you're not supposed to be able to see the shit that they do. And they need a break. They need your eyes to fucking close. When I say somebody wants to break, somebody wants to take a step back, it is because you won't stop seeing, right? And so we have to close your eyes. And whatever they did to close your eyes, they should have loved the outcome of what they planned for you, because that's actually what they got. So anyway, the bases are loaded and the ancestor says, baby, go where God leads you. But y'all, do you understand the power in that direction? That is a testament to you being obedient, you listening again and again. When God speaks to you, that is a voice that only you can hear and a voice that only you can make sense of. Some places we're sent where it doesn't look like we're going to thrive. It doesn't look like anything is going to come out of anything that we carry. But if you know you were sent, you got to go. Under the handmaid card where it says, go where God leads you, that is where you'll thrive. I have a card that says power couple. Now listen, we could totally make this a whole romantic love, but I really, really, really believe that if you go where God leads you, you are in a power couple type of dynamic with the Most High. A power couple is an influential and dynamic pair. When you go where God leads you, you become influential and dynamic. When you move with the Most High, you are a part of a partnership that is filled with ambition. The Most High is the yin to your yang. If you go where God leads you, the impact will be significant. That is what your ancestors, your spirit team, whatever it is that guides, supports, protects, and loves, that is what was said to you. Meaning, when you hit this pitch, this needs to reflect a place that the divine led you to. And I promise you, I'm coming home off of third base. I'm coming off of second base. I'm coming off of first. Y'all, I just got to say something. I talked about ways to attack and to do things that are wicked in the unseen world. You could have 3 family members, 3 ancestors on first, second, and third base that unfortunately transitioned. And it was because of the spirit of somebody like this, who is a part of something. They move in the unseen. They do wicked things, and you're fucking up their money. Okay? They want to shut your eyes because you know what is, you understand what I'm saying? So your spirit team could have been the players that, listen, all of y'all are a part of a lineup. So even when they transitioned, they were supposed to transition because they had to get on first base in the spirit. The next one had to transition to get on second base in the spirit. Like, do you understand? Every transit, there could have been 3. Oh my God. I'm thinking about the story I shared recently, but there could have been 3 significant deaths in somebody's life or family connected to the spirit of this type of person I'm speaking to. Literally, that may have caused their transition, but it was divinely orchestrated, because when you finally stepped up to the plate, like when you were finally ready, you needed them on first, second, and third. And so sometimes, you know how they say, oh my God, y'all, they say death comes in 3s. Oh my God, if death comes in 3s, sometimes you need to load the bases. And then on the physical world, in the physical world, when you step up to that bat, but you obey. And when they say go where God leads you, that means you already know how to hit. You already know how to swing. How have you been told to hit or to swing? This world, oh my God, y'all. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit more about what happens when you swing the bat. I have a card that says River Woman. This card means that you recognize everything you do is a part of the course that you have to take in order to meet your desires. You take nothing personal. You take nothing for granted. You're like, if I go through it, I had to. Keep it moving. If this happened, it needed to. Keep it moving. You are called the river woman. I want you to think about all the conditions, all the changes that a river goes through. Maybe because of weather, maybe because of season, maybe because of climate, right? And so when somebody throws you a pitch that looks like a drought, but you're an entire river woman, this is saying that you have been in seasons where the river has dried up. And you understood that it's dry because it's training me. Do you know that when they throw a pitch, it's really about exploiting the weakness of the batter? And so somebody thought a weakness was to put you in a drought. But if you're the river woman, you have been a part of rivers where they weren't flourishing, where there were no rapids. It wasn't running. You understand? You know what it looks like when the river of life is dry and barren. And this pitch was supposed to make you believe that the water and the rain would never fall again. When they gave you or put you in some type of drought, you were supposed to believe that the earth beneath your feet would always be dust. But remember, all they told you to do was to go where God leads you. That is where you'll thrive. And you did it. And sometimes God will lead you through droughts. Sometimes you will drown in these rivers, right? Because the current or the rapids, it's rough, it's choppy, it's cold. Sometimes they can be like ice. The river has many faces. And if you are a river woman or a river man, that means that you have mastered the face of water, emotion. You can endure a lot of emotional shit and understand that it must be necessary. Have a card that says creation and artistry. Wherever God led you, it was to a place where a hobby would become a way of life. Wherever God leads you is where the seat, the start, and the seed of creative inspiration is hiding, or it will be found. When you go with God, you become a power couple. You can't help but thrive. That is how you responded. That's what happened when you step up on the home plate with the bases loaded. Finally, the last part of the reading says, when this game is over, when you finally get this award, you complete this cycle, this mental fucking game with the nutcase. You finish this thing. Y'all, you got it. You're promoted, but to what? But to what? It says sight of owl. The reason why you won this battle is because you have the sight of an owl. First of all, you got to be able to see in the darkness, and you got to see well. The fact that you live in the darkness, you prefer to be nocturnal, means, you know what, I've been here in the darkness so long, I actually can kind of that is a world I have no problem navigating. And so when the ribbon or the sash or the trophy comes to you, you are literally being given the trophy of an owl. That is what the promotion spiritually means. You got eyes. You got eyes that can see in the dark. You can live there and see and thrive. Why? Because that's where God led you. And hey, if that's where your journey takes you, that's just where your journey takes you. Sorry for those that don't like it. Stop doing dark shit. Stay out of the unseen world doing wicked shit. And then I wouldn't have to see you, right? Like, you gonna be mad that you were seen? Why were you there? You know what I'm saying? Like, who put you there? My eyes don't put you there. You put yourself there, and my eyes see you there. Like, why are you mad? Anyway, the sight of an owl says, when an important decision comes, you follow your awareness. There's something about your vision that is meticulous, and you know how to choose left from right. Even in the darkest moments, the precision of your sight is profound. We started as a seer and we end as an owl. It's almost like you have been, what would you look like in a kingdom of darkness? In a dark world, what animal would you be? You would be the owl. The wisdom that you carry in the darkness gives you the sight of an owl. You can find prey. In the darkness, you can hunt. What? You started as a seer and now you're a bird of prey at night? What? Yo, my handmade card says the goal is to eat forever. If you go to where God leads you, you will eat forever. You can't help but thrive. Listen, there is no such thing as exhaustion in the universe or in the kingdom of the divine. Y'all, stop playing. It is impossible to not have. It says unshakable love. The relationship between you and the Most High is described as an unshakable love, deep-rooted affection that grows stronger with time. Y'all, do you understand, man? If you have 3 spirits on first, second, and third base, and they choose you to take the hit that brings them home, that finishes this, that closes this, do you understand that that is the unshakable love that was built over time. So the consistency in all of this, the reason why you can be put on the home plate during a time or a game like this, in order to display your mind. You had to train for this. Remember the river woman or river man? Drought. You had to know seasons and cycles of drought again and again and again. In order for this pitch to be familiar to you, the lowest thing could have been done to you that you can fucking imagine. And your ability to still see in the dark and make a high quality divine choice is unimaginable, which is why this specific pitch was thrown. It was about the location of this pitch, meaning it may be a low blow, but also proximity. The way this attack, the way something had to happen, it may have had to been not only low, but close. Somebody from the inside, somebody really fucking close. And still grand slam. Y'all, I love you. You have an unshakable love with the divine. And when you follow it, when you trust it, when it grows stronger, you are steady and you are resilient. The affection between you and the Most High is unwavering. And there will be moments in life where it will feel like you have been playing a game that has exhausted you beyond repair. But then there's God. Then there's forever. And moments of deprivation do not define our forever. And so you not only walk away with the sight of an owl, but we got the 4 of Swords. Like, you can rest. You can put your feet up. Another one of my cards says harvesting of rewards, meaning, listen, there are some things that have your name on them. There are material and spiritual blessings that are entirely good and will be collected by you in due time. There are things materially and spiritually that will be collected by you, but you had to get them eyes first. You had to see what that mind do, and you did. And you had a old, low down, dirty, nasty opponent. Whether you knew them or not, they knew you, and they clocked in every fucking day to spend time with you in your energy, to watch, to calculate, to listen, and then to lead a whole bunch of people with sick minds to do their bidding. And they may have sent you a knight. And the way you responded to the drought that this knight was supposed to make you suffer, you removed an obstacle. You hit a home run. Y'all, you did it. And so whatever you get next, you're going to love. And unfortunately, whatever this person gets next, they're not going to love. But there are some games that just have to be played a certain way. And you played fair, you played honest, and you listened to the coach. What better coach to have than the Most High? Whoever had this motherfucking King of Swords as a coach is somewhere feeling tight. Whoever this knight, listen, we don't want to play on that team. So thank God you play on the right team. And this was a list. To be a river woman or river man, I just want to talk about the hardship that you had to make peace with. That means even when shit's hard, I can still create. I can still find joy and passion. This is like a ridiculous amount of inner child hope and spirit. It is a beautiful spirit that was able to endure something very dark. But you understood that the assignment must have been the assignment for a reason. There's a reason why I gotta go through this, right? Do you know how hard it is to defeat somebody who you literally cannot bring down? You know what I'm saying? Like this, and this is why the ancestors were totally fine with choosing you to hit the final hit. The most possible points that you can get on a single hit is acquired by you because you went where God told you you need to go in order to thrive. And because of that, you will eat forever. When I say eat forever, I'm talking about the love that comes into your life spiritually, materially. Maybe it manifests in the person. However it shows up, it will be almost, it will repair you. It will repair you for what it just took you in order to get those eyes of an owl. This is the harvest of your rewards, and it is so beautiful. Y'all, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.